Hello everyone, David Terry here. Welcome to part 2 of this series I'm doing on producing a song from the very beginning, which was an acoustic guitar vocal demo, taking you all the way through to the finished released version. The song is called Daylight. It's by Kimber. In the description below, you'll find a link to her YouTube channel and to this song. Please go hit the like button, listen to it, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your support for her. Also, in part 1, I went into a little more detail about everything that I'm going to be doing, and then also played you the original performance that she did at a writer's night here in Nashville, where she performed this song with an acoustic guitar and a vocal, which is where we had the reference for producing this song. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the beginning of the song all the way up to the first chorus and show you everything that I did and some of the reasons why I made the decisions I made when we produced Daylight by Kimber.
They say kill 'em with kindness. Tell me, are we listening? They say don't fight fire with fire. Yeah, we'll only go up in flames. But we're still waking up on the battlefield, determined to make more wounds when all we want's to heal. Maybe there's a war I don't know how to.
All right, as you can hear, all that's in the beginning of this song all the way to the first chorus is just a guitar and a vocal. Originally, when she wrote it, she played it on guitar and kind of had this quarter note pulse thing going through, which I liked. And when we started producing it, Chris Cook, co-producer, and I, we played around with different things. I played an acoustic guitar that was mic'd in the normal way where you'd maybe have a stereo mic or a mono mic or a combination of whatever, and I didn't really like that. I thought it wasn't interesting enough. And then I tried this arpeggiated acoustic guitar thing, which also I liked, but didn't really like it at the beginning. I bring it in later in the song, which you'll hear. So what I did here was I took an acoustic guitar, ran it through this Egnater Rebel 20 guitar amp into my mid-80s Marshall 212 cabinet, mic'd it up, and then that's the sound that we have at the beginning of the song. When I recorded it, I'm pretty sure that I used some EQ and compression on the way in. I don't remember exactly what mic I used, but everything on this entire track was recorded through Warm Audio mic preamps. I know they didn't pay me, and I did pay for mine, and I've never actually even spoken to anyone at Warm, but I do like their products. I have several of their mics, and I have several of their preamps. This was either, the guitar was either the API version, which is the WA412, I think, or the Neve 1073 version. I don't remember which one I used, but let's see what I did on the plugins on the mix and how I treated that. I have, looks like just one plugin going on, and it's the CLA Mix Hub. I darkened it some actually, so when I recorded it, I obviously thought, when I got to mixing it, I thought it was a little too bright by the time I did whatever else I was doing. So I rolled off everything above 7.5K. Then I also put a shelf minus 3 dB at 4.8, and that's it. That's all I did on the acoustic guitar, other than I have it going into some effects. I have it going into the Abbey Road Chambers, which is by Waves. I love this plugin, and I just gacked around with this until I found something that sounded like it was in sort of a small reflective room. And then I also added some delay with the Waves H delay, again kind of getting it a little more slappy, and we ended up with the sound that you just heard. I'll play it one more time. So that's the acoustic sound. The other thing that's happening in the beginning of the song is Kimber's vocal. I recorded this with an SM7 vocal, SM7B by Shure. And I do remember that I did not record this with any compression or EQ. I just recorded it straight from the SM7 into the Warm Audio WA412, which is their API circuit design. And on her vocal, I probably processed it quite a bit more in the mix. First plugin I have is the CLA Mix Hub, rolling off some low end at about 130 Hertz. Adding a tiny bit of top end, 1 dB at about, what is that, 14.8K. Adding a little bit, 1.2 dB at 2K. cutting 2.8 dB at 800 and something. I can't see that far away. That's what the mix hub is doing. And I have the CLA Blue Stripe 1176 compressor. Let's see how hard this dude is working.
They say kill 'em with kindness. Tell me, are we listening? They say don't fight fire with fire. Yeah, we'll only go up in flames.
So that's digging in pretty good when she's getting into it. And, you know, like I said, I did not cut any compression on the way in on this vocal. Next up, I have a C6, which is a multiband compressor. And again, I'm knocking down certain frequencies up in the upper mids and higher frequencies. Let's take a look and listen and see how much this is reducing.
They say kill 'em with kindness. Tell me, are we listening? They say don't fight fire with fire. Yeah, we'll only go up in flames.
After that, I'm using the Dynamic Spectrum Mapper, which is a great plugin, which I've talked about before, but in this case, I'm using it only for de-esser. I'll just real quickly tell you what it does. This line here is the threshold line, which corresponds to the frequencies up above. You see, I think on the left side, you get over just under 1K all the way up to 20K. And when I play back the track, you'll see that the input signal is represented by another graph, and anytime the input rises above this threshold, it compresses by the parameters that I have set below. So let's listen to that.
They say kill 'em with kindness. Tell me, are we listening? They say don't fight fire with fire. Yeah, we'll only go up in flames.
Okay, so just grabbing some S's. The next plugin I'm using is a Yamaha. I love the high end on it. I use it often, and I'm doing a shelf at 14K, and then another little boost at 2.7, and a tiny cut at 8K. Nothing magical there. And then I have one more de-esser at the end of the line. Apparently I thought I was still too sibilant-y by the time I did some other things. Let's see how hard this is compressing.
They say kill 'em with kindness. Tell me, are we listening? They say don't fight fire with fire. Yeah, we'll only go up in flames.
A lot of times with dynamic processors, rather than using a lot out of one, I will use a little bit out of several, and I think it ends up sounding more natural. The only other thing, I see the EQ is on for the channel strip, and I've got, I'm cutting 270 and 687, and then adding a little bit of 2.3 back in. And then effects, well actually you see those there. I'm running her vocal into this VSR reverb plugin. This is sort of a small room. I love this thing. This is a model, I think, of a TC Electronics. I don't know if it's a 5000 or a 6000, I can't remember, but I like it a lot. I am also running her into the same acoustic guitar reverb, which was the Abbey Road Chambers plugin. A little bit of her in there. Another reverb is the Lexicon 480. And I don't know, I just jacked with some parameters once I opened this up and made it sound however I wanted it to sound. Then the last thing I am using on her vocal is the automatic double tracker. And you see it's just a tiny amount going into the send, but later on in the song I'm actually automating probably all of these and raising and lowering the level going into the effects. But I know specifically on the automatic double tracker, I am pushing it harder in certain sections to give the apparent, the feel of a double recorded vocal rather than actually doubling her vocal in those few sections. So that is all we have on this production from the beginning of the song all the way up to the first chorus. Again, go check out the part 1 version, which had the acoustic guitar version of the original song demo, and then go check out her finished version, or our finished version, which is in the link in the description. The link is in the description below. Go check those out, hit the subscribe, hit the like, and part 3 is coming up where we get into the chorus.